Rachel, I don't know if you knew this. Maybe I told you, but I was interviewed for the show that's on Peacock called The Traitors.
I didn't know you were interviewed. I knew that you wanted to be on it.
Yep. So I got a call about a month ago from the casting director. Spent an hour on the phone, and she was from Ohio, but obviously in LA now as her career, and grew up in the church. So she saw a pastor, and she was asking me, could you backstab Tim? My first answer was, of course I could backstab. And then she goes, a lot of people answer right away. I want you to think about it again. I'm going to ask you again. I just want you to think about it, because you being a pastor and all of that, being on TV, could you backstab? And I go, no, I couldn't backstab. I probably could deceive and lie pretty good, but backstab, I probably couldn't do that. She goes, so would you be better at a traitor, as a traitor, or as a faithful? Because in the show The Traitor, you have faithful. This show, it's a reality show, right? So just for those of you listening, it's a TV show where you have a host select blindfolded people, 3 people who are traitors, and their job is to basically, I'm in quotes now, kill off or murder the faithfuls one at a time so they can get the grand prize, which is about roughly $250,000 at the end. And so there's missions to raise money, and there's competition, but there's also this psychological warfare that's going on to see who's a faithful, who's a traitor. And so when she asked me, I initially said I would love to be a traitor. And she goes, why? I go, well, I'm a pastor. I work with a lot of people. I could be different. I could maybe convince people that I was a faithful. And I said, after thinking about it and talking to you, I said, I think I'd be better as a faithful. She goes, oh, that's interesting. Why? I said, because of the fact that I've worked with a lot of people, I know different people. I can discern who's telling the truth and who's lying. I think it'd be great to be able to find. So we got on it was an hour discussion, and it was the most abrupt end to a conversation, because she said, okay, next step, we're going to get you on a Zoom call, and we just want you to be you, hang out. I'm like, love that. I'm like thinking, this is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And I want to be on The Traitors. I absolutely love the show The Traitors. And she goes, we start filming in May and June. I go, she goes, uh-oh. I go, my daughter's getting married in June. Well, Tim, if it changes at all, or if anything comes up, you let us know, but thanks for this call. Bye-bye. And that was just like that. The conversation ended. As soon as she knew that she couldn't move on further, or I couldn't move on further in the process with her, obviously she's going through probably thousands.
That's so hard.
But when I got the text, I texted my oldest daughter, who is social media and reality show. She loves The Traitors. She goes, Dad, I doubted you when you sent that video in for your application. I was like, Dad, that you're never going to get seen, never get recognized. I take it all back. And then she got really excited for me,
Yeah.
Angie, on the other hand, my wife's like, don't take the call. You can't do that. They're going to tear you apart on social media. And I'm like, they probably will if I go on the show, but that's the risk you take.
Did I ever tell you that I almost got on MasterChef?
Seriously?
Yeah. It was when I worked here.
Yep.
And I had started to make cooking videos on Instagram. And when I did, I would hashtag Arkansas and all the things to try to grow my following.
Mm-hmm.
Well, MasterChef was doing a season where they were looking for people from different states, and a casting director reached out to me and was like, hey, saw your profile on Instagram. I'm a casting director for MasterChef. Would really like to have a conversation with you about applying for the show. And so I was like, I'd love to have a conversation. So I hopped on a call with her, and she essentially said, you're exactly what we're looking for. If you send in an application tomorrow, email me what number the application number is, and I'll fast track it. And I was like, okay. So I did it the next day, turned it in, sent her an email. 2 days later, get a phone call from another casting director, had a hour-long interview with him. He was then to pitch it to the final casting director. And I was like, no way this is going to go any further. So then That was on a Wednesday. Friday, I got another phone call from him saying they wanted to move forward with me in the casting process, and I would be having an hour-long Zoom interview with the final casting director. I also needed to take headshots, and I needed to film a video around the city of Fort Smith, explaining what my life is like, cut it all together, and then film another video of me cooking my signature dish. So
that's how they do those cut videos. They ask you to do it for The Voice. They have that break off videos. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So I did all that and then had an interview about 3 weeks later with the final casting director. And she was like, basically the way we're going to do this is I'm going to ask you things and all of this will be cut to your final video that will be presented to Gordon Ramsay. And I'm like, oh, that's insane.
So this isn't Hell's Kitchen. This is
Master Chef.
Okay.
So had a great interview with her. She said to prepare my life to be gone for 3 months. And it would either be a yes or a no. Never heard back.
Wow, you got ghosted at the last.
Ghosted on the last thing, and I did 3 months worth of work in the next couple weeks
to get ready,
thinking that I was going to be gone.
Yeah,
because it was it was November, and they were filming in January, and it would be January through March.
Yeah,
and so I did all of my kids' lessons for church for 3 months, and then when I never got it, I was like, man, I'm way ahead of schedule. I got all this time.
And then you never heard back.
But if you've never watched Traitors, Traitors is essentially, if you've played the youth group game Mafia, it is essentially Mafia. And it's so interesting because you're trying to figure out people. I am absolutely horrible at this game because I have no poker face. And one time I got chosen to be Mafia, and I just started giggling.
So Mafia is equivalent to the Traitor.
Yes.
So I learned Mafia obviously when I was a youth pastor with students. We did it always. We played the game always on missions trips in the bus on the way to a site and a work site. And whenever I played, I could have the worst card and not be Mafia. The first pick was Tim's Mafia, and I'd get voted out. So I became Alan Cummings. I became the narrator. So I would creatively come up with, when someone got murdered or knocked off the game, I would creatively come up with how.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Jensen was walking down the beach and suddenly out of the water came a shark and whatever. And I would come up with the most gruesome way that they died, but not knowing ever that it would become a reality TV show. It was fun to be on a phone call and to be considered. It was very disappointing for about 24 hours. It kind of hurt, man, I wish I could make this happen. Jensen's
You're thanks, Jensen, for getting married.
Jensen goes, Dad, I'm really sorry I'm getting married in June. I go, don't be sorry. And Jordan's like, can't we move the wedding? Can't we move her wedding? I'm like, no, we're not moving her wedding for me to potentially go to Scotland for 2 months. If it's meant to be, it's meant to be, And next season. If they have a second season of regular people, which, when I got wind of it way before they started advertising it, because they were actually advertising the application process back in October on social media before the show, obviously. So I did it right away. I instantly filled out the application, did the video from the deck overlooking the pond where I was living at the time, blah, blah, blah. This was in September because we hadn't moved yet. It was in September and not thinking anything of it. Because they were taking applications to March. And then last month I get the phone call. And it was a good thing because the physical challenges with me getting out of surgery,
that would be really hard.
I would only be 4 months post-op, probably couldn't do a lot of them. And I did a little at volleyball last night, and I'm in pain today. So I know that my body is still healing, and it's not at a place, and I shouldn't push it. So good reasons not to, but fun. Anyways, the whole thing, though, that I thought would be what you're saying about the Traitors is interesting, is that my daughter said, Dad, they will blow you up on social media. You have to be prepared. And that's the reason why my daughter Jordan, who actually has at least 6 or 7 friends or more that all have been on the show Survivor.
Yeah.
She knows Survivor champs. There's a lot of them that live in Texas and they get together for watch shows. There was one lady that was on the show one year and made it to the final 4. She was at the restaurant that my daughter was at, and Jordan just bravely walked up to her, introduced herself. They struck a friendship. So her name's Charisma. She invites Jordan to these watch parties, and they're friends. And so she's become friends with past champions and past participants. And she watches social media. And these people tell her all the time, Jordan, we can get your name in. We'll put your name in. We'll get you. She goes, no. Because Jordan is so concerned, like a lot of people are, what is said about you, whether true or false, real or not, on social media, because it will stick with you and stay with you for a long time.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm not on social media right now, taking a little Lenten break. What was Sunday like here?
Sunday was good. It was all about prayer. Richie's message was a really good one about how to pray. Mm-hmm. And he kind of broke down like the Lord's Prayer and just sitting in it. I thought I took really detailed notes and just it's interesting because he said he broke it down into 5 points. So how to pray. You acknowledge your Father, you submit to his will, you admit your needs, you forgive, and you are forgiven, and you ask for him to help us through trials. And I the last point that I wrote down, I think, was the one that stuck with me the most. And it says, the prayer is more about changing our hearts than changing God. And it also, the sermon reminded me of something I heard on social media in the last couple weeks that I've thought about more and more. And it was the quote that says, whatever you worry about the most is what you're trusting God with the least. And that is such a significant thing to dwell on. You're like, okay, what do I spend all this time worrying about? And am I trusting that God's got it?
Right.
Or do I just keep worrying about it, thinking that my worry is going to fix it when it won't? But what does that look like in your life, Tim?
It's not the worry part. It's the, God, really, are you concerned about this? I mean, you got... And I really am this person. Mm-hmm. You have the whole rest of the world to worry about. This isn't it. And what I have been trying to focus on in the last couple days, and I'm amazed that I've never done this in my life to this degree, is trying to every morning consciously remind myself that inside of me is God. Mm-hmm. Even though being a pastor 30 plus years, being a Christian 40 plus years, I don't think I really focused and centered my prayer life on the fact that the Spirit of God, the same Spirit that was in Jesus, God himself has taken residence. We say that a lot. We say, invite God to come in. He'll take residence inside of you. Jesus, take the wheel, whatever. But I'm trying to consciously make myself aware of the fact that within me, in my soul, in my heart, is God himself, that he has allowed himself. He has allowed us to surrender to him, but then to really move in, that he is in me, that same, we say that too a lot around church, the same power that separated the sea, that parted the sea, is the same power that's within you. We say it so much that we don't think about it. And I think for prayer, it's like, okay, I've got a situation going on with a certain person. God cares about that. God is, if it moves me to the point of concern, it's going to move God, and I have to think about that. I am trying to do that in everything throughout the day. Remind myself, God is in me. Mm-hmm. So before you lash out at that person cutting you off, before you get upset with somebody that did something, or before you power up, whatever, before you get selfish. Remember who's inside of you and what does God want from you. I'm moving that way. I'm not where I want to be. Yeah. But it is true that, and I do love that, what you worry about the most is what you trust God with the least. Trust God the least. I think for me, I would reword it for my situation. What I think about the most, I don't give God enough because I think it's my responsibility, not God's, to fix X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
And yet God says, well, why are you trying to do it on your own? You were never meant to do it alone.
Yeah. Well, and I also think sometimes we think that our problems are too small, that God only cares about the big things, which is, I mean, God probably is like, hey, give me the small things because that's a lot easier to deal with.
Yeah.
But I think of it as if my son Jack came to me, whatever he's coming to me with, big or small, like I want to hear about it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not about taking up the offense of others, but it's like, hey, because I love you, like I want to walk through this with you. Like I want to sit in it and like let's talk it out and like see if it's really as big of a deal as sometimes when you say it out loud, it kind of works itself out.
Sure.
Some of the things because the things that we make a big deal in hindsight aren't as big of a deal as we make them. But if we say them out loud, if we talk them through with somebody, it really helps. And sometimes maybe that's getting alone with God in a room and saying our problems out loud to him and realizing, hey, when I'm saying them out loud, maybe it's his Holy Spirit working in me that's like, hey, you can let that go. Like
when you have a problem that you're working through and it has to do with somebody else, are you a rehearser of what you want the conversation to be like? Do you rehearse like, if she says this or he says this, I'm going to come back with this, or I'm going to start the conversation by saying this? Do you choreograph in your mind the conversation and the outcome and the desired outcome?
Not typically, because when I have done that, it's gotten me in trouble.
Yeah. Well, for me, I do. I'm a rehearser completely. For me, though, when it actually happens, it doesn't go anywhere near where I rehearsed.
Oh, no.
And so what I'm trying to teach myself, even at this stage of my life, is it makes no sense to plan it in your own head. Why not just give it to God and trust him? Just say, God, there's a conversation I need to have. I'm going to need you there. And see, I'm saying what I want to live out, but I'm going to have a conversation. So I am praying to you because you know that this affects me. I'm worried about it. I'm concerned. I'm anxious. Would you be there? Would you be present? Would you speak? Would you allow healing if it needs healing? Clarity if it needs clarity, focus if it needs focus, whatever that may be. Because 99.9% of the times when I rehearse it, it never goes that way because I don't know the other person and what position, why they feel the way they did or why they did what they did or what direction they're coming from. And so why do I assume that I can control, and this is a control issue for me, the conversation, the narrative, when I don't know what the other person's situation? I can't tell you how many times I've been in conversations in my mind rehearsed and somebody say something, I go, oh, I never knew that. And it changes the whole direction. Mm-hmm. So my whole worry spent waking up in the middle of the night, not sleeping, not focused, was all wasted. Yeah. And God goes, if you only would have given it to me and trusted me.
Yes. I always say that things are always worse in our mind than they actually play out in life.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Always.
100%. 100%.
It doesn't
They're not
matter.
as bad as they seem.
Never as bad as it seems like it's going to be.
No.
And we work ourselves up and we worry about it, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And when it comes time to it, it's over. You're like, oh, that wasn't near as bad as I expected it to be.
Yeah.
So.
That's good. That's good. Hey, real quick shout out. Shout out to Jen Kaufman, friend of mine, who listens to us from Traverse City, Michigan.
Oh, so cool.
Loves.
Hi, Jen.
She says she loves our podcast, that we are real. That's the reason. And that she had done a Jen Wilkins study. So she heard our interview with Jen Wilkins. And so shout out to my friend Jen and her husband Mark, who are dear friends of ours. And it's great to know that outside of the state of Arkansas,
we love it.
People are listening to us. So that's fun.
That's cool. Yeah, I love it.
So, well, are you a daylight standards or a daylight savings person? Savings is now, standards is in the fall. Do you like the earlier morning or lighter mornings and darker nights sooner, and that or reverse. Like now, it's like dark in the morning and longer evenings.
Light in the morning, dark at night.
So you prefer when we fall back?
Yes.
Yeah, you're the only one so far that I've asked out of probably 12 people.
Yes.
I'm this time because that's the great debate right now in Congress for this, because they want to end it, but they can't come to a consensus of to stay with savings or standard time. And which one affects you the most, though, sleep-wise? This one does, because you lose an hour.
Yeah, I mean, I like that it's lighter longer, but I wouldn't like it lighter longer when it's cold outside.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like it how it is, but I have a lot of selfish reasons too. So we've talked about that. Like my husband works at a golf course. And
oh, that's right. We did talk about that. That's right. That was coming up.
There later.
Right.
But as far as like baseball practice goes, like I enjoy that it's lighter longer, but it really throws me off.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting. And the reason why I brought it up, I was at a volleyball tournament this weekend in Little Rock, and Saturday my team played, high energy, played really good. And there were, in the gym at any time, was probably 30, 40 teams, maybe more than that. So a lot of girls playing volleyball. The next day, they lose that hour. The quality of volleyball just went, it was still competitive because both sides were tired, but you could see, because these girls stay up, they're talking to their buddies, their friends, their teammates. And, you struggle through it. But this has been the easiest transition for me because of that volleyball tournament. You had no choice but to go to sleep early and be prepared. But yeah, now we're on the road to Easter.
Yeah, it's going to be here so quickly.
Yeah.
I feel like Easter is so early this year that it's just like, oh, we're almost there.
Yeah, and it's far enough away from Mother's Day that it doesn't feel like it's stacked on top that usually it's like we get Easter later in April. So you got Easter, and then I have my wife's birthday. Then I have our anniversary, which is a week before Mother's Day. Is like bam, bam, bam. Now we have a little bit of separation here. We are moving into the last three chapters of Luke that lead up to Easter. And Chris Stacy is back from his sabbatical, and he's teaching this week. He's really excited. And I think he's talking about the three lost stories, the lost coin, the lost sheep, and that thing. And he's really excited because everything is now moving us as a church to be consciously thinking, if Jesus was to come back tomorrow, who is it that is lost and is going to miss that opportunity? And we are so Chris is this Sunday. A week from this Sunday is Frankie, and then I will have the Palm Sunday message, and all of them leading up to the Easter message, and with the idea to keep in mind, who is one person. If you could just invite one person to church, who would you invite to church? And what is it going to take for you just to give them an invitation? Is it going to lunch with them, having coffee with them, whatever it is? Because I hate to say it, it's the Super Bowl. You hear that a lot. It's the Super Bowl of church, but it's one of the most attended church days of the year. And so why not take the opportunity? And I think our Easter service is going to be very special. Our Good Friday service is going to be unique, different at the East Campus. We're going to have Good Friday services at all three campuses. We're going to have multiple services on Saturday at different campuses, and then Sunday. This next few weeks are going to be really special around Community Bible.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Are you a part of them?
I am. I was just looking at what I looked at what my song was. I think it was Rescue, the Lauren Daigle song.
Oh yeah.
So.
Well, it's going to be a good time. So hey, you have been listening to the 61st Minute, a podcast of Community Bible. I am Tim, and I'm with my co-host Rachel. We have enjoyed being here today, talking a little bit of prayer, a little bit of Traitors, a little bit of life, a little bit of stuff. But we're here just every week, just trying to be real. Potentially, just a little teaser, potentially we may have a special guest next week. We're working on that. If not, you'll get us. And We love that you check in with us and listen. And no matter where you're at, even in Traverse City, Michigan, we'll talk to you next week.
See ya.